In honor of Boating Safety Week coming up this month, we decided we're going to talk a little bit about boating safety tips in every single video. And today's boating safety tip we're going to talk about is going to be them good old life jackets. That's right, guys. If you're putting yourself in any kind of position that could cause a little bit of trouble, make sure you have those life jackets on the ready if you're not already wearing one. Because here's the reality. When you need a life jacket, when you're already in the water, it's a little too late. Welcome back, guys, to this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Now you may be asking yourself, BG, when should I actually have my life jacket on? And that's going to vary depending on the situation, the country you're in, the place you're at, because everywhere's got different rules based on the type of vessel that you're on board as well. But anytime you're underway on a vessel, you should at least have quick access to the life jacket where if things go wrong, you can grab it quickly. Now that doesn't mean that that's the only time you should have a life jacket. I mean, obviously here, our girl is not underway. Well, kind of she is, and she probably should have had a life jacket on the ready for herself as well. Now, obviously in this situation, we're kind of kidding. I mean, she did find her way into the drink, but I still do not recommend wearing a life jacket in the car. Now, sometimes it can be tempting to do, especially if you're coming back in from a day out on the water on a PWC. You were probably already wearing one. You probably walked to the car still wearing one and sat down to try and back the trailer up with it on. But it does restrict your ability to turn your head, look what's behind you, and check out the objects around you, making it a little more difficult to try and back a trailer up. So I definitely recommend that you take that PFD off before you try and drive anywhere. Now, on the other hand, if we could find out a way to put PFDs on cars, life might be grand for some people around the boat ramp. For whatever reason, we see these images happen all the time. Somebody burying their car in the drink. I mean, if we could just get one of those systems set up in the car where the driver just has to pull a string and all of a sudden the life jackets inflate and they get to save the car down at the ramp, that might be an incredible thing. Now, one of the things that happens all the time when we see these images and when we post them on the channel, everybody asks, how in the heck does that happen? Well, there are many ways for this to occur, but the number one most common reason this happens is somebody is rushing around the ramp. Now, there are obviously a million reasons why you could get rushed at the ramp. I mean, you're down there typically with maybe family and friends, and you guys are excited and ready to get out on the water. So that can be one of the reasons you're rushing is you're trying to get out there quickly. Two, it could be a timing issue. Maybe you've only got a limited time that you can be on the water. Another reason that could stress you out and make you want to rush at the ramp. Of course, you may have kids or any number of things screaming in the background, all kinds of distractions going on, but you still got to slow down and make sure you take your time on the ramp or things can turn into a dumpster fire pretty quickly. Another reason you could be rushed at the ramp is going to be other people around you. Of course, boat ramps can be busy spots, especially if you're trying to launch on a weekend. You're going to have people who are in line waiting, getting frustrated and angry, maybe honking horns if you're taking too long. And then of course you're also going to deal with the weekend warriors who don't understand boat ramp etiquette. And sometimes they'll do silly things like just park their car anywhere at the boat ramp, which could add to the timing, making things take longer down there as you're going to have to try and navigate around them. So one of the biggest pieces of advice and tips I can give for those people who launch their boats on the regular and want to avoid dropping their vehicle into the water or some of the other disastrous mistakes that can occur down at the boat ramp, take your time. Don't let others make you feel rushed. Do things efficiently though, but you still want to make sure you get it all done. Maybe even create a checklist that you keep in your vehicle so you can kind of reference it to make sure you're taking all the correct steps. Now, even doing all this, you're still going to have some times where things can go wrong at the ramp, and it might not have to do anything with the vehicle. It could have more to do with trying to get that vessel onto the trailer. But I still feel like one of the key mistakes here is people rushing. Once again, I have to imagine in this situation, the guy loaded the boat on the trailer was in a rush to take off, not realizing the trailer wasn't actually loaded correctly. And of course, another big common mistake, people rushing trying to leave at the ramp, and they forget to check and make sure the safety straps are on the back of the boat. Now, of course, rushing doesn't only occur around the boat ramp. It can happen anywhere in boating. So your boat may already be on the water and you're trying to prepare to leave the dock. But if you rush again, you're going to forget things. So once again, no matter what you're doing in boating, stop, think, don't rush. Take a look at everything going on around you and make sure you're actually ready to go when you try and leave. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Dunherd, Darby RC, Backen, Desiree Rose, Lifestyle Miami, My Florida Coast Realtor, John Matthews, Kevin Rodriguez, and Captain Paul Tripero did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here. If not, we're coming to steal your drain plug.